Yes. Welcome in on a Monday edition as we get you ready for a gigantic week of filling holes. That's what we've done. Figured out a way in which holes have been filled here. The first, of course, being what's
what?
I'm trying to figure out what holes are being filled.
Yeah, what holes are you talking about, man? What is this? Fixing a hole?
How come I haven't been part of any of these Philly holes or holes being filled or what's going? What are we talking about?
I was just saying, like there's been a void in your heart, Barrett Brooks, amongst others. All right, a void in your hearts out there when it comes to not being able to talk consistently and extensively about the NFL. Well, that's back. So that hole in your heart has now been filled.
Well, it's not back yet.
Well, yes. Now it goes to the second part. And here's why it's back, Harry. Because Howie Roseman and the Eagles have filled another hole, which is at least addressing who the number 2 cornerback is. And that now begets conversation to the first, which then begets conversation to the second and back. So we're back. As holes are full across the board.
So Howie filled a hole.
He
addressed the need, and they got better. They're a better football team today with Steven Nelson. I'm not going to make him out to be Patrick Peterson, Deion Sanders, by the way, but he's a good player, and they had a sore need, and they got it, and he signed a 1-year deal. We still don't know what's happening with Zach Ertz. We still don't know what's happening, with the basketball team, with Ben Simmons. The Phillies are 5-5 since the break, and the Flyers made a couple of moves.
Yeah. Look, but that's what all I'm saying is that stuff now.
Holes are being filled.
Well, that's what I mean. It may be more of we may lead with the Flyers if Nelson isn't signed this weekend.
Yeah, that's a problem. That would be a problem. So we have to thank Howie Roseman for getting a deal done this weekend.
I hate to do it to him, but he did something right, bro.
Yeah, he did. We got to give him credit. When he deserves credit, we got to give him credit.
I got to. I mean, he signed the second best free agent cornerback that is available right now in Nelson. And that's
to smoke that cool, relaxing Winston after a hot.
Wow. You know about that Winston.
In the world. I want to know more about the holes that are being filled at your house.
Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf, those holes. What was that movie called?
Holes.
All
I'm doing is trying to introduce Steven Nelson. Next thing you know, it turns into Byron Nelson. What the hell is going on here?
Not Jordy Nelson.
Or Lindsey Nelson.
Yes. Now, okay, here's a question for you, and both of you now, because Barrett has done this countless times, and it's not about being wrong, it's about being optimistic. So it's not about owning up to anything that you're wrong about, it's just about being optimistic. Harry mentions he's not going to build up Nelson to be anybody to the level of Deion Sanders.
Right.
Who's the last guy that you did build up? That was like, oh my God, they got fill in the blank, but it never turned out to be anything at all. Like Barrett sitting on the post-game show saying, you wait, they get this guy. Next thing you know, they get him, and everybody's like, all right.
Well, I was fooled, and I'll admit it, by the Nnamdi Asomugha mystique that existed out in Oakland, where I thought when they signed him, I'm like, wow, this guy is a shutdown beast. Nobody throws to his side of the field. This is going to be awesome. They're going to take away a whole side of the field with one player. And he was a bust.
When you go to,
I was fooled.
Now, here's what I would say real quick, Brad, before you address yours. Do you notice how long ago his is? Like, that means to me, Harry has not bought into anybody since, because he's been burned once by Nnamdi. So now everybody that comes in is like, yeah, okay, screw this guy.
Everybody comes in from this point on. I hate to do it to you when this.
Yeah. I see some names being put up on the stream here. Eric Rogers says Byron Maxwell. I remember when that thing happened.
Me too.
And I had a real jaundiced eye towards that acquisition, because I'm like, why would Seattle? Seattle's what did they call that? Legion of Boom. He was a part of that, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, see you later. We're okay if you leave.
The guy that they never talked about. You had the Legion of Boom, and you had 3 guys, and then him.
Yeah.
So it's a bunch of times where they went out and got the number one free agent acquisition, and it's been a bust. You look at Alshon Jeffrey. Not saying it was a bust.
No, I mean,
well, we didn't get bang
for the.
We didn't get after that first year. We didn't get bang for the buck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I thought he was going to be a
Super
perennial.
Bowl though.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't really argue with that. They did get the Super Bowl.
The last free agent signing, I say, it was like the greatest signing they've had, is when they signed the bodyguard. When they got Jason Peters, I thought that was one of the best signings.
Man, that was a long time ago.
Yeah,
right.
Jesus. Wow.
That was it. I can remember Byron Maxwell, the first game they played against Atlanta.
Oh,
and he was sitting there talking, and all of a sudden he turned around and he said, well, do you realize that he had this many touchdowns and over 100-some yards? He said, oh, what? And he cussed. He was like, for real?
Yeah.
He was shocked himself.
And now we got a guy that 2 of his 7 career interceptions were in one game against Carson Wentz.
Right.
Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, we are live here Monday. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. A lot going on here for us, at least, as the Philadelphia Eagles have signed a cornerback, and a lot of people around now talking about the arrival of Steven Nelson, the departure of Nelson from Pittsburgh, why he left, and why he's here now. And from there, we do have the NBA draft this week, so maybe, possibly, there's a trade ahead of time. I wouldn't hold your breath, but you never know. And really, this is like the Hall of Fame games right around the corner. So from off the field to on the field, football feels back by all means.
It's coming.
We filled some holes. Maybe it was a crack if it wasn't a hole, but we filled.
And two coaches got exited or retired or quit or whatever you want to call it from this COVID protocol stuff.
What do you mean?
We got to touch on that. We got to touch on that.
Assistants, you're saying?
Yes, assistant coaches. Yes.
Yeah.
Rick Dennison, who I was with Rick Dennison for a little bit. I didn't like him much, but I mean, he was old. 63 years old, and he just wouldn't take the shot. It wasn't a religious belief or a medical reasoning why he just didn't want to do it.
You're saying he's old. He's only 7 years older than me, Barrett.
I'm talking about as far as coaching.
Oh, okay,
bro. That's an eternity of coaching, man.
Yeah,
60 something in coaching, bro. It's tough. That's tough sledding to coach, man.
So
we just talk.
Is it coaching years? Is that like he's really like 180 something?
Well, it's
like
not like
dog years.
It's not like dog years, but
no?
instead of 7, it's 5.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Because stress, man.
So he's over 300 years old.
Right. So stress. He's old, man. He dealt with me for a year, so he's feeling old. He's feeling himself right now. But yeah, man, this guy, man, he's been through a lot, man, and he's not really a guy that gets all hyped up or anything. He's really a passive type of guy, but he stresses about everything. Oh, the head coach got to do this, and
hold on. I'm sorry, real quick. We got a break on the network. We'll be back in 3. It's still live here on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Barrett's still going. Back in 3 on the network. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. So him not coming back. I mean, he's made his money. Put it like that. He's made his money. That's why he made that decision. But a guy like Cole Popovich, the offensive line. Both of the guys are offensive line coach. He was an assistant offensive line coach with the Patriots.
Right. Man,
this guy's young. He's only 36 years old, and decided not to get the shot. So it's it's tier 1 staff members. Tier 1 meaning coaches, trainers, equipment managers,
right.
Front office guys, people that have direct contact with the players.
Yeah,
right.
If they don't get tested, if they don't get shots, it's
we know the shot doesn't guarantee anything.
Exactly.
It's really not a vaccine. I mean, I think that's the wrong word. Because John Rahm, I don't know if you guys heard this over the weekend, he had COVID already. He's been vaccinated and just got it again. He just got tested positive for it a second time and now can't play in the Olympics.
Wow.
Well, yeah, that's the problem.
And he already had it and then got vaccinated and now he got it again.
Well,
it's crazy.
It's not that you don't. It's not that you don't catch it. It's your body knows how to react to it more. You know, when you put a vaccine in, it puts dead. What is it?
It puts the antibodies in there. It's putting, actually you're basically putting the virus into your body.
Right. Yeah, dead virus into your body.
That's why you're usually sick.
Yeah, so your body can take your body will react to it better, and it'll fight it off because it's seen it before. Yeah. So you can't catch it again, and then that's the problem, because people become carriers because they don't know that they have it. If they have the vaccine, they only have it. It's not keeping them from catching it, but if they catch it, their body react better when they do get it.
Look, I think the NFL is in a situation here where, and we only have a minute till we're back, but this is my overall picture of it. The NFL is going to do everything. We've seen this before in every single offseason where there is something the NFL has to, part of the pun, tackle, right? Mm-hmm. Where they will posture the hell out of it. And look, sometimes it's for medical reasons like COVID. Sometimes it's for officiating. Sometimes it's whatever it may be. Don't worry. Oh, a player and discipline. Don't worry. Somebody who gets caught, fill in the blank, beating their wife or whatever it may be, they're going to be punished even more so the first time around. And then what happens is the season starts, and the biggest stipulation in all of this is that if the game can't be rescheduled within the 18-game period, all of that money is going to be taken away from both teams. If we had Tuesday night football, Wednesday night football, the NFL doesn't like missing games. That's the biggest part. So look, they can stand and say, we're doing the right thing. And there'll be plenty of people who may say, hey, we're doing the right thing. But the reality is that all of this threat of taking money away from people's pockets, that only happens if they can't reschedule. And we didn't see that last year. Correct me if I'm wrong.
No, well, also, if a player does not, I'll talk when we
get on the sports map.
I'm just saying as far as the game.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from
now, where's that prep sheet?
Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Hayes.
Jimmy Blues, yes, you do get dead virus in the vaccine. Oh, that's how your body recognizes what it is, and that's why your body's struggling. Yeah,
and we're back.
But yes, you do get if you don't have the vaccine and you get caught being out or around a bunch of people indoors, then they will fine you for over $14,000.
Well, that's the team rule, right?
No, that's the NFL rule.
Are you sure that's not? Because I saw that with one. I saw that with one specific team. Let me see here. I think it was Baltimore. Was it NFL across the board?
It's NFL across the board.
So that's if you're out.
Yeah, the league will find. No, right. If you get COVID, if you get caught, no, it's not even if you get caught or you have COVID. It's not if you get COVID, but if you get caught, if you're not vaccinated and you get caught, and not wearing a mask and in a crowded room indoors, somebody takes a picture of you, whatever, you will be fined over $14,000.
Yeah, again, and that's what I'm saying is that a lot of this is great when you reduce it to 140 characters on Twitter, right? And say, oh my God, the NFL is going to fine you or the NFL is going to do this. But then when you start, think about it. You mentioned it. You have to be, somebody has to snap that picture. Somebody has to dime you out with the evidence, right?
They dime LeBron out, so they're going to dime you
out, bro. I'm just sometimes, right? But also, I think it's safe to say that there are plenty of people who know how to avoid the cameras.
Exactly.
Right?
Like me.
Yeah, exactly. Right. It's not, if you have to, it's not hard. But again, it goes back to it where you're right. There at least is some sort of rule in place that's going to nail the player if they found to meet those stipulations. I'm saying from the bigger standpoint of the threat of both teams losing a paycheck because they have to cancel a game. Everybody went crazy like, oh man, the NFL really handled this one. But right there wasn't even in small print. Right there in the opening statement of it said if, and basically only if, the NFL cannot reschedule this game in the 18-game period. Will both teams lose their checks, et cetera, et cetera. So one guy can continue to mess it up for everybody. And that, look, Ravens, Steelers, they're not just going to be like, sorry, you're not.
Yeah, we're going to cancel it.
Game.
Yeah, they're not in the business of canceling games and
No,
No.
so much money in these TV contracts.
Thank you. That's a perfect way to put what I just mumbled out there for 78 seconds.
You start messing with that money, but when you start messing with a player's money, you get their full and undivided attention.
Right.
Full and undivided. You don't play on a game, you know, they don't mind that. Okay, I'm not gonna play in the game. But once you start taking money from a player's check, that's when that's when things totally turn around and you have their undivided attention.
Well, I don't know if it's going to get to that. My point of it all in this, Barrett, just to make sure that it's clear, is the only way the NFL is taking money out of players' checks in the case in which they laid out for both teams losing is if they can't reschedule the game.
Right.
So they left a loophole in the rule to basically allow them to reschedule the game so that if player or players X, Y, and Z have COVID and cause a derailment, they'll get fined the $14K, right? But the game will go on.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. And that's where you're right. It's a trickle-down effect. The NFL doesn't like losing money. To the players who play the game don't like losing money. So right now at the end of July, it looks great. But I would say there's a 0% chance the NFL does not find a time to reschedule a game in the 18 games period this week. Or this year.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't think there are going to be any forfeited or canceled games.
So to So to Barrett's point, you might find 5 guys ostracized, vilified, just right through the coals on social, right? Because they were positive and they derailed the game. But ultimately, nobody's losing money. Those guys aren't losing game checks. Nobody's losing any money.
Well, I mean,
except for the $14K that they get fined for initially.
Yeah. Well, and that's going to cause a divide from with the guys that are on the team, the guys that that are vaccinated. And once you start playing with guys as checks, man, hey man, you better go get that shot. If you see a lot of players are posting, we all we got. Don't hold us out there like that. Make sure you get the shot. It's two different vantage points of it. I mean, I can see if it was religious or for medical reasons. I understand that. But, a lot of these players aren't going to play with that, man. They don't play with that at all.
Frank Reich, it just came out, has just tested positive for COVID. And that was from Rap Sheet, I believe, right? So that just came through.
Wow.
Frank, fully vaccinated, Frank Reich has stepped in. No symptoms. This is from Rap Sheet. The Colts announced coach Frank Reich, who is fully vaccinated, tested positive for COVID-19 and is quarantined. He has no symptoms. So, look, one thing that happens here, and this is look, I'm not making a statement left or right. Let me just add context really quick.
All right.
What happens is the NFL is a business that tests rigorously. Meaning it doesn't matter. Like nobody in the day-to-day who's responding to all of this on social media, 1 to 2% go through such a like medical professionals going through that level in which the NFL is going through. So yes.
Military.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So this is not some sort of representation of society or anything like that. It's the fact that, yes, military, you know what, Harry? That's the triumvirate, right? It's military, medical professionals, and the NFL. Not even NBA or baseball players are getting tested as rigorously, and because the NFL is as important to our country as the other two.
All right, now let me ask you a question here. Let's just say, now that you said Frank Reich has tested positive, and he was vaccinated, right?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. So now let's just say a picture comes to light in the next couple of days of Frank Reich hanging out on a pontoon boat somewhere with 40 other people getting loose. And I'm not saying he would ever do anything like that, but let's just say for the case of argument that's determined like, he was putting himself at risk. Is he finable since he was vaccinated?
No.
Okay.
Only the players that are not vaccinated.
Well, here's where it gets tricky. Was he in an area like we are now in an area where even if you are vaccinated, it's required for you to have your mask on indoors in a lot of Philadelphia, right? Like that's
Philadelphia, California, the state of California just went back to that.
Absolutely. So what if
it really worked for him the first time?
Well,
I got to get that in. Yeah.
Fair enough.
They've done a great job out there.
Well, you know that 20% of the new people that are testing positive are in 3 states.
New York.
No, not New York. Texas, Florida, and Missouri.
In Missouri, yeah.
Yep. 20%.
Well, here's the
are
thing.
from those states.
Is it just the positive rate? Because again, we know that this thing isn't gone. We've seen that there's been a variant, if you will, that's come out. So this shouldn't be a surprise that people are still getting it. Like, I go to my weather app. I'll show you right here. I'll go to my weather app, and every day it tells me an update on cases.
Yes.
Right? You may not be able to see it because my phone is trapped.
All right, I'll take your word. Yeah, I see it. I see it right there in Pennsylvania.
We all see it. We all
Every
see
day,
it.
new cases 478, new deaths 7. Right? We all see it. We all see it.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, it shouldn't be a total shock. But then
Well,
again, we went through numbers the first time around where New York had a significantly higher amount of deaths, but Florida had a significantly higher amount of people that tested positive, especially in an area. So
it's all relative. You're right.
The NFL, right? Yeah. And the NFL is not going to be able to, like, the NFL is going to do whatever the hell they want. That's really what it comes down to.
Right.
But my point in all of it is that the NFL is not going to lose any money.
Well, I think it's more so if you look at what's going on, man. I mean, right now there's not a lot of people that catch pneumonia, or not pneumonia, but catch the flu during the summertime because it's hotter, and you're not really inside closed places, and
I know one guy
except the former program director for Eytan.
Wait a second.
But once the weather changes, go into the fall, and once like when you're supposed to get your flu shot, that this is the time when
I've never gotten a flu shot.
Oh, you haven't?
No, never.
Wow.
You don't need one unless you're a baby or
you've got an
you're
unbelievable immune system.
Right.
Yeah.
So you'll go into the
flu shot.
Now the flu season, that's when the cases will definitely start going up again. And then they're probably gonna shut more stuff down.
Right.
Boy, I can't wait.
Here's okay. Let's do this. Right. We have one thing that we should look at as well, where Steven Nelson is here. And I know there are a lot of people that have arrived to the program today.
Thanks to Slay.
If you're up in here, make sure you hit the like button, that thumbs up button right there. You hit the subscribe button just below it and the notification bell to the right so that you have helped us out exponentially. And, of course, you're not missing anything. You'll see Joey B, 91, and a bunch of others from Play Action Real, Eric Rogers, Muhammad Ali, John Shelton. All the Birdman in the house as
Muhammad
well.
Ali, no, Muhammad Malik.
Oh, I thought I said Muhammad Malik. I'm sorry.
He's the great. Are you seeing the greatest is checking in on the stream?
I was building up to the greatest that we have here, which would be Mama Brooks. So I was just building.
Good morning, Mom.
Right.
Yeah. If you're new,
I appreciate being nice to her
here.
too, y'all. Thank y'all, Joey B, all you guys. I appreciate that, man.
That's a testament to you, I think, first and foremost. My mom would be in here and people would be harassing her, not her, but about me. Like, what the hell is wrong with this guy? Why does he say these things?
Why did you do this to us?
What happened here? Like that would be the difference. Everybody just gives your mom props. Like, what an amazing job you did, Mama Brooks, on raising this young man here.
You guys don't tell my mom, man. She's a nice lady. Well, she wasn't always that nice.
No. I said nice job raising. I didn't.
Okay, yeah.
All right, there's the difference, right?
She bring with an iron fist. You can believe that.
You got to, man. Otherwise, what? You no sense to you, man. Otherwise,
bro, I was like 3 inches taller than her when I was like 7.
Yeah, so you have to equal. It's like the gangs in New York scene in the beginning. You have to equalize the fight any way you can. You grab whatever you can. All right, we're out of here. Back in 3 across the board. It's the middle.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
but as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid.
As long as you face the fear.
And keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
Field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you. Champions on three. 1, 2, 3. Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
Is the Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so come on. Let's look at this real quick. How much better is this team? Exponentially better from what they were, but they're not exponentially better overall.
Right. Just like we said just now, it's all relative. You know, they're better than what they are, but better than what they are still being a lot farther than what the better teams are.
Yeah, but I mean, now they got a corner opposite of Slay, who's actually started 50 some odd games, in the NFL.
Yeah,
right. I mean,
who was the top?
He's got 7 interceptions.
Look, the guy had a bad year. The 2 of the last 3 years, he had good years, and it was really the first 2 of those 3 years. His last year in Kansas City,
that was a great year.
Yes,
he had a really good year that year.
His first year in Pittsburgh was a good year as well. Mm-hmm. The problem was last year he fell off a little bit. Look, he's not gigantic, right? He's not. I saw someone
5'11".
Exactly. He's not an overpowering 6'3", 6'4". I saw Obi mentioned up there in the chat earlier. Like, he's not going to be this big dude, but he's a ball. He's not necessarily a ball hawk when it comes to interception mode, but he
solid.
Yes, he's a solid. Yeah. That's a perfect way to put it. He's a really good, solid cornerback. But
we got 2 now.
He took a bet on himself.
Yep.
Right. Last year, he took a pay cut. This is Barrett's squad, right? The Steelers.
Right.
He took a pay cut thinking that he would have a great year to come hit free agency this year, knowing that he was going to be cut and be a cap casualty. Well, it didn't really pay out for him. But look, the Eagles, and this is where I give them credit, all right? The Eagles are masters of finding guys who are in this position, getting them on the cheap, and saying, we're going to give you an opportunity to shine.
Right. Here's your prove it year. Exactly. You do it for us. And
hopefully, Harry, when they ball out, they come back.
Well, they have a good track record of that. They have a good track record of paying after that happens. You know, they did a lot. They did Nigel Bradham. They did it to Alshon. They did it to the defensive lineman from he came over from Baltimore. Oh my goodness, what was his name? With the gold teeth. I forget his name.
Yep.
But you know, they signed him to a deal.
Yep.
You know, they pay up, so the track record is such that you know, guys will come play on teams like this because of that reasoning.
Right, but let's not lose sight of the fact too that they constantly are forced to doing this stuff because they can't draft guys. Yeah, Jernigan. They can't draft guys at certain positions that materialize.
That's a great point. You know,
think about it.
They're like, you know, their draft is almost like the Phillies farm system.
True. Although the Phillies farm system can't get out,
or lack thereof.
Yeah, I thought they eliminated the farm system in baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess they essentially have this year, but I mean, we haven't had a good farm system since 05, 06, 07.
Well, yeah, since those guys like Ryan Howard and Rollins and all those guys came up, Burrell.
Exactly. Yeah. Yep, Pat Burrell, all those guys. So you know, it's just funny to me that you can't take your own guys and bring them up and mature them in your own system.
Yep.
That's incredible to me. I just don't understand that. Draft a guy, keep him here.
But it's only at certain positions. They seem to do pretty well with linemen.
Yes.
Offense and defensive linemen.
Yes.
Linebackers, we know they don't really care about.
No.
So they'll just pick those guys up, you know, wherever and whenever. But the defensive backfield, I mean, think about all the good ones that they've had recently. You know, which is one guy that they drafted. They brought in both the safeties that were on the Super Bowl team were free agent acquisitions, right?
Yep.
And the cornerbacks.
Yep.
So, and, you know, now wide receivers, we're hoping maybe they've figured that out with, you know, Devontae Smith if Rager develops, you know, because they had done a lot of it with the wide receiver position as well.
Right.
Well, Andy just neglected the wide receiver position, but then he made sure that he had great cornerbacks for his defensive coordinator. You know what I mean? They valued the linebacker position also. But, you know, they're always going to value the offensive line and defensive line. I mean, that's just how Philadelphia teams are built.
Right.
They treasure the trenches.
Yeah, and they seem to have a pretty good record of picking guys.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, they do. Oh. But they've struck out, man, at the cornerback position. Oh, they've been almost horrid, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it's horrible, you know, the guys they brought in. Well, and then the free agents they brought in aren't any much better either, you know. So at this point, we need Nelson to come in and at least give us some solid play. You know, even Slay has to give us a little better play. You know, he has become more of a solid player. You know, he had some stumbling blocks last year, but I believe in him still. I think he's going to play a lot better than he did last year. I know he's going to work harder than he did last year to become a better player, you know, because he himself said that, you know, hey, I was tripping. You know, I don't know what's going on, but I got to play better. And I took that as, you know, as being Bible. He's definitely going to come back a better player. You know, he's definitely going to come back a better player. So now we have two guys that can compete because with the wide receivers in this division, damn, man. I mean, Kenny Golladay, Sterling Shepard, Ross.
Yep.
I mean, Slayton. Slayton is probably better than, you know, one of the better guys in the league. He just doesn't get a real chance. I mean, him and Jones have a little bit of a thing going on. You know, they have a better chemistry than probably any of the other guys as far as being receivers. But, you know, it's night and day on the balls he throws to Slayton as the ones he throws to Shepard. Then you go down to Dallas. You have CeeDee Lamb.
Don't forget about Terry McLaurin either.
Terry McLaurin. You know, and also the guy that just brought in Samuels.
Oh yeah,
you know, he's a great player. You know, one of those pocket knife players. You know, this Swiss Army knife. He'll be able to do anything you want as far as gadget plays, taking the top off, running those speed routes and tunnel screens and stuff. Those are all things that he run well. Dallas has three good receivers also, so they're going to need some cornerbacks to step up, and it also breeds a lot of competition at the slot position also. You know,
they also need the pass rush to step up too.
Well, that's
what I mean.
That goes without saying. Maybe they're going to send safeties this year. We don't know what Gannon's going to do.
No idea.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, we may see a Jim Johnson level blitz, or at least something close to that. That would just a complete departure from what we're
Schwartz
used to with Jim
Yeah.
Schwartz, right?
Yeah.
So who the hell knows?
I got a message to Barrett this weekend from one of his old colleagues, Sterling Sharp.
Get out. You saw Sterling.
No, I didn't see him. A buddy of mine was playing golf at a very nice club down in Tennessee, and Sterling and Seth Joyner happened to be there playing golf.
Okay.
And so I told him to go. I told him to go up to Sterling and say, "Hey, Barrett Brooks says hello," and Baldy too. But I said Barrett Brooks was basically, I got all these stories about Barrett having to get coffee for Sterling Sharp at NFL Films. Go tell him Barrett Brooks said hello. So he did. And he said, he's like, apparently big smile. You know, he's got that great smile. And he said, "You tell Baldy and you tell Barrett, it's almost go time. Buckle up." That was his message to my buddy.
Oh, man, that's great.
Dude is a great guy, man. Great guy. I call him, though. You have to call him, leave a message, and text him. All three of those.
Right.
Before he responds back to you. You know what I'm saying? Before he responds back to you. I'm like, come on, man.
I understand that.
Yeah, we know. We feel that pain.
Seriously.
But, you know, that's all he does now is play golf.
Yeah. It's good.
He say he gets up in the morning. He gets up in the morning. Say he takes a shower. Then he goes to the golf course to have breakfast.
Mm-hmm.
He goes out and plays like 2 rounds of golf. 2 rounds. Goes in, eats lunch.
We're back in 3 on the network. Still live here. See more people popping in on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Make sure you hit us up with a like and you are subscribed to the channel. Go ahead.
And then he goes back and eats lunch. He goes out into the driving range, hits a couple more, comes in, eats dinner, and that's his day.
Yeah.
Look at you. You just sitting there dreaming, huh?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I've had days like that.
Down to South Carolina.
Yeah, I guess he must have been visiting Nashville this weekend.
Was there a tournament down there?
No, I don't know, but Seth Joyner was there too.
There's always something going on.
Yeah.
There's some great courses. The Hermitage.
Governor's Club was this. This was Governor's Club.
Oh, down in Nashville?
Yeah.
They probably have perfect weather too.
Yeah.
Weather's probably not bad at all.
Weather's good here, man. Yesterday it rained most of the day, but today's great.
That's one thing about being up north.
I'm looking out at the Long Island Sound right now. It's pretty sweet.
Can you imagine all the stripers that are out there right now?
Oh, yeah.
There's some great fishing out there, man.
I can practically see Montauk from here, Barrett.
That's crazy, man.
Yeah, I can see Fisher's Island from here.
There are people out there right now that are getting lobster free. Just going down, jumping in there, getting lobsters, bringing it back to the house, and just eating it like it's it's nothing.
We had some monkfish the other night. That's kind of like a lobster.
Oh yeah,
like the texture. Yeah,
it's really good, man.
Monkfish.
No.
Not
art
not
monk.
feral monk.
Not art monk.
No,
art
monk fruit.
Oh yeah, monk fruit. Yeah,
but no monkfish. The fish is great.
I'm surprised you didn't jump on the feral monk. That's your boy there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Manch.
Yeah.
That's good stuff, man. People even saying here in the stream, you look relaxed.
Yeah, I look like the same I do every day. I don't know.
Not now. No, not now.
Yeah.
Now you guys like
out of Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Like there's no haze over your head right now.
Well, because I don't have that stupid green screen behind me.
Oh yeah.
That's why.
That is true.
I hate that damn thing.
You're free of it. It's encroaching on you. I could see it behind you.
You got the nice fan in the back right now. Nice little breeze.
Well, I just set up shop in the bedroom because my sister's got to do work in her own office, so I can't. Yesterday or the other day, I was in the office.
Wow, Bob Wankel has me and Howard Eskin hosting a midday show.
Are you serious?
Yeah. So Bob's Philly Sports Talk lineup: morning, Angelo Cataldi; midday, Eskin and Shander. I was taking 23rd. PM drive. I think that's what it is next to him. Yeah.
Oh, that's where they made up like sports talk lineups, right? Yeah, I was doing a show with Mac now on one of the guys' things, I think.
If Gilio and Ike doing a show together.
Yeah.
It's like the worst possible combination I could ever think of. I know they battle and stuff, but let Ike live, man. Jeez. That's Bob Wankel, man. Hey.
Sports Map Radio
I have to give it a
Crossy
read.
Broad.
By Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So did this do anything? Like, is anybody now willing to change? I'm sure there are people, including people with some sort of platform in front of them, speaking to the masses that are instructing you to race to your local book, whatever it may be, or bookmaker, and pound the over because Steven Nelson is here.
Yeah. I don't think the acquisition of Steven Nelson, as necessary as it was, is changing any point spreads or any win totals.
Okay, just make
okay.
Yeah. Because I do have a play. Remember, when day one of the NFL schedule dropped, I put in a 3, 6, 7, 8 leg round robin 3-bet parlay just to get ahead of the game here. And I still have the over 42.5 for that Eagles Falcons day one.
Okay.
42.5. Feeling pretty good about it now, right? Zach Ertz is probably going to be back. I'll have to eat a little crow on that one. I can't believe it. I cannot believe this guy is back, but I see it feels like enough people. If you remember, who did they do this to? Kevin Durant, where they locked him in that house in LA and they were playing video games to try and get him to stay. DeAndre Jordan, Chris Paul. Remember all that?
Well, wasn't he the one that was in the Hamptons and they all visited him in the Hamptons, or was that another guy?
I think that was him later, though. Like,
That was him. Yeah, that was also him.
Yeah.
So who was the guy that they locked in the house and were playing video games with? Was it not Durant? The streamer?
No, it was
Was that DeAndre Jordan down in Texas?
DeAndre was doing the locking, and nobody's
was?
locking DeAndre Jordan up and saying you ain't leaving until you sign a free agent deal with us.
I think it was him though.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think
He
it was him.
He was part of the crew. I was sure about this.
I thought this was like.
Okay, hold on.
Was he leaving the Mavericks and then going to L.A.?
Okay,
To the
maybe
Clippers.
Okay, look. Wow, what a fool. You knew that the Clippers, it was the Mavs who tried to get him? I thought it was the Clippers. I thought the Clippers were involved in one of these childish activities.
I think they were.
Okay, maybe
Yeah, I
I
think
had
they were.
But I stand corrected. Oh, look at this. All right. I keep telling you, the Eagles, they make a big move. Steven Nelson is here. It's great. It's great to react to. We reacted to it. We'll continue to take your comments here on the stream. It doesn't necessarily move the big picture needle for you. I get that. But look at this, okay? This is coming from Adam Borai, NBA insider for 5 Reasons Sports for Bleacher Report and SI Now as well. Brandon Ingram, he spells it Braden Ingram, but I think we know who he's talking about. Maybe that's a tell right there.
Yeah, that might. I don't know if I trust
He does
it.
follow it up and correct it, to be fair. Brandon Ingram would welcome a deal to the Miami Heat per source. Timing is critical to any deal, and David Griffin will play hardball. The Heat and Pelicans are chasing similar free agents, and the results of free agency will determine if a trade is there to be made. Well, why not swoop in? Again, everybody thought, no, why would they trade Ingram? Why would they trade Ingram? Well, look, now all of a sudden they're open. Kai Carlin's going to join us at 12:40, a little less than an hour from now. He has something on the Raptors being involved in Simmons. Now we have the possibility of them opening up a 3-team deal. We have this latest news here with Ingram. So just all I want is just keep this on the rear. All right.
Yeah. Well, there's still some smoke with Sacramento, isn't there, in Ben Simmons?
Yeah, but not.
Or is that already a week old?
Not nearly enough to make a fire, because they've already said that they're going to play hardball with Ben. This is go high or get out. You know what I'm saying? You got to fold them if you're not going high, and they don't really have anybody at this point that the Sixers would entertain. At this point,
if you're going to get somebody back, it would be Halliburton, and like Halliburton healed.
I like Halliburton.
Oh no, that's what I mean. Like you have him with Thibault and Matisse and Tyrese Maxey. That's 3 young kids that all of a sudden now are playing starter minutes depending on the game flow and are dominating second units.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, think about that. Arguably, you had a Thibault coming off the bench who was a top 7, maybe 8 NBA defensive player in the league right now. You'd have Maxey, who we saw has no fear whatsoever, no matter what the circumstances, will take over. And Halliburton has played consistently well on a bad team, where even when other teams realize who he is and have tried to slow him down, not stop him, but slow him down, he still played well. So you've got 3. I don't know, but to Barrett's point, that seems like it's less of a reality than them trading for Damian Lillard at this point.
Right.
They're not going to give up Halliburton. So, wait. When do we have Eberle coming on? Tomorrow, right?
I thought it was a Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure. So just keep that. We've got the Raptors.
Oh, wow.
Kings. What? Something new?
No, well, it's new for me because I didn't see this yesterday.
Let's see it. We need it.
The Flyers have acquired Cam Atkinson in exchange for Voracek.
Yes, this was yesterday.
Yeah.
So the Philadelphia Flyers general manager, Chuck Fletcher.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's allowing certain people in the building publicly to call him Charlie.
Is that right?
Just to soften up the there's a lot of this floating around that he's like Chip Kelly. He doesn't talk to anybody. So he's allowing certain select people each day when they sign in at work are given a card.
Wow.
And it's like a little pink card that you can carry around, and that gives you the ability to call him Charlie publicly.
Well, I wonder if Mercedes has the card.
Well,
he used it to just fire him up.
He actually did have something right. He teased us about this Rasmus Ristolainen deal that ended up happening.
Yeah. And he came in, he made 3 deals. One of them was Voracek. Like, this guy in Fletcher came in and said, I want to change the culture. Think about how difficult that is unless you're rebuilding.
Well, they got rid of Gostisbehere too.
That was for cash.
Yeah.
That was for cap space. And then the latest, which is Voracek, traded for Atkinson. Look, all 3 of these guys, Risti, Atkinson, and Ellis, come in with experience, and they also come in as leaders, right? Like Barrett playing on the Detroit Lions, but still a leader on the Detroit Lions, makes him more appealing than a second or third year dude who might just be messing around and not giving a crap because he's on the Lions. Like, I know Barrett's still yelling at people as a 7-year veteran on the line, even though they're down by 14 points, as opposed to somebody who's probably just like, man, it's my 2nd year in the league. I ain't going anywhere. Let me just cash out here. I got stuff to do tonight. There's appeal to it. These guys come in, that they're leaders.
Yeah, they understand what their role is going to be as soon as they walk in the door.
Yeah.
And that means something. That definitely means something.
Well, they had to break up that core.
Well, Giroux is still here, and rightfully so. Voracek,
and we know Sean Couturier wasn't going anywhere.
Nope, not at all.
Nor should he. Man. Do you think that did they get? I mean, I think they matching up better. They may not have been as far as a skill set. They might have went down a little bit as far as matchups on the team, defenseman with defenseman.
Yeah, they got 2 pretty good pairs now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think they get better. They got better as far as how they're gonna how their lineups gonna go out.
Yes. So the Eagles and Flyers did something where they've found a second defenseman / corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like the Eagles found a guy to match with Slay, and the Flyers found a guy to match with Provorov.
Yep.
Now
that's Ellis. That was the first deal that they made. Yeah. Ristolainen's the second line. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just saying across the board. Like,
right.
We talked about filling holes, right? Flyers too. You didn't even let me get to that point of it. Now, Kyle Neubeck on Philly Voice is denying, based off of his reporting from team sources, Monday, claiming the Sixers have been unable to get in touch with Ben Simmons. Sixers saying both sides spoke as recently as his birthday. Who said this today? That they haven't been able to... Huh?
I never saw that.
Somebody from Bleacher Report included the detail on a SB Nation podcast. I'm not going to write this in the story, but I'll tell you this to you guys, and you can do with what you want. They haven't been able to really get in touch with Ben since the season ended. Like, there was an intent to have a workout plan or whatever, like in any offseason. There's always kind of been the case that the Sixers haven't been able to align with a development plan for him. That's kind of what Yaron Weitzman wrote at Fox Sports in that big story. If it just doesn't sound like there's ever been movement to come on the same page to do that, and it hasn't really worked this summer either, I think that's not something that's an encouraging sign for him being in Philadelphia in the future. So Kyle reached out to multiple team sources on Monday in the wake of this. Quote, "We talked to Ben on his birthday a couple of days ago. We've been in touch with him throughout the summer. We're going to send some We're going to send some training personnel out to see him this summer, too. We have good dialogue with Ben, his team, and his family." End quote.
That ought to go well.
You're right.
You know, the trainers show up at the door. Well, first they got to check in at the gate to get inside the gated community that he lives in. Hidden Hills. Yeah, you don't just drive in there.
No,
you don't just roll up.
You can't roll up. Nope, you can't do that.
Yeah,
you got to look like somebody, going up in there. So.
Right. Yeah, who's this? We're the head trainer and the assistant head trainer of the Philadelphia 76ers here to see Ben Simmons. Ben's not here.
Ben's not here, man.
Did you have an appointment? He works for us. Like we this is how he gets paid. Well, he's not here. I don't know when he's coming back. Nobody's seen him. Click. That's how that goes.
I love it. What's the better bit? Ben's not here or Dave's not here?
Yeah. Dave. Yeah.
All right.
Put your brother on.
Yeah. Oh my God, how amazing was that? All right, we got to get out real quick. Make sure again you hit us up with a like. We're live and local as always from the Fritz and B and Cooley Law Studios. So if you know someone who suffered a personal injury, contact Brian Fritz directly. Tough lawyer for a tough town. Middle here sponsored by Pure Bull Beef Jerky. Get yours now. Go to steersnacks.com. We are back in 3. We'll get Kai Carlin on at 12:40. How about that, right? Talk a little bit more about this. And
love Kai.
NFL is back. There's some other things happening around the league, but really, with the Eagles, it's not just Nelson. Zach Ertz was thrown about. There's some other things we'll have to touch on here. We're back in 3 across the board here. It is the middle.
If you missed any of today's show on the JAKIB Media channel, listen to the podcast on your way home. Available on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify. The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull Beef Jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
In the Wildwoods, our free beaches are spacious and welcoming with plenty of room to spread out. Your seat will be waiting for you when you're ready to visit. The Wildwoods, creating cherished family memories for generations.
Attention women of South Jersey and the Delaware Valley. Sign up right now with Our Lady NRA instructor, Nayara Andrzak, who will teach you gun safety as part of this 3-hour safety class, which is being held at Delaware Valley Sports Center in Philadelphia. For information, drop an email to info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. That's info@DelawareValleySportsCenter.com. Learn the fundamentals at Delaware Valley Sports Center. You can't miss.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out Book It Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the Book It Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the Book It Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
Whole new wardrobe.
All right. Back in about 30 here, but still live on the stream.
So have you gotten desperate enough to wager on Olympic action yet, Eytan?
I told you, you guys keep. I do not bet on the Olympics. The only time we ever had fun with that was that exhibition game that Team USA
Well,
lost.
that's what I'm saying. You should have. Did you have France the other night? How about them losing to France?
I don't watch it because. Okay. Let me explain you.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios. Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
So no, the question posed me to think about this. Wait a second. I just want to make sure that these odds for the Phillies are not totally updated. All right. Harry asked in the break about if I've gotten desperate enough to bet on anything Olympics related. Now, first off, why would I bet Olympic table tennis when I have the Liga Pro?
Well, no.
Every
night. I got that. I'm not saying table tennis because I know you've got your hook up there.
And
I'm
why
just
would
talking
I
about basketball, like Team USA. You fade them against France.
Well, I was on a nice little hot streak in the PGA, so I'm not going to go into Olympic golf.
Yeah,
by any means, right? So I'm going to stay with what I know. Here's the thing: the NBA is a sport that Harry, and since we've worked now with Barrett, but I go back to when it was just us, I always defend. Never to the point where it's blind, like, oh my God, they don't do anything wrong. I get it. They're not for everybody. I always, personally, I think the product is flawless. I think the presentation of the product has deteriorated significantly. Take that for what it's worth. But the product I love. The difference, though, is that nobody is playing this style of game. In fact, FIBA has essentially outlawed the style of game that the NBA players are playing right now. So I'm not going to watch it because I already know going into the Olympics that these dudes are set for like a 70 to 80 point performance. It's going to be the international guys mugging them, bully balling, if you remember that phrase.
That was a Sixers thing, wasn't it?
Yes, and the NBA guys thinking to themselves, wait a second. When I'm in Portland, I can put my head down, go to the rack, somebody breathes on me, and I'm automatically on the line for 2 shots. That ain't the case in the international game. So I don't want to watch it. It's guys playing a completely different game for me. So that's why there's a tune out. And no, I did not watch the USA lose to France, although that was as predictive as I think it could be, that the USA is going to struggle because they're so used to this style of game.
Wow.
Do you remember who was the safety, guys, down in Washington? I think he was on Washington right
Sean Taylor?
No. He was a guy who played over the top physical. And when the NFL in like 2008 or so changed a lot of rules on defense in order to open stuff up on offense, was basically saying, you've got me playing a game the certain way for my entire life, and now you're asking me to change it or I'll get fined and ultimately lose my job. Do you remember? I don't remember who the exact. He's a name that you will know. It's a household name at the time, but he was like not dirty, but he was like, borderline, and he was over the top physical at that position. And it's like,
I know you're talking about.
You know exactly what I'm talking about. That's the best analogy I can draw, which is these guys in the NBA have been coddled to the point where they're international soccer players where, oh, it's a foul, it's a foul, it's a foul. Not in FIBA. They ain't working around it. So we're back, by the way, in 6. Not here though. We're live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page.
So you're saying it's more like the 1990s era of the NBA?
Yeah, FIBA's rules and game flow and how it's officiated allow you to play bully ball. Like Brett Brown couldn't play bully ball because the league in this league won't allow it. Think about it. How rare is it where two guys go up, one for a shot, another for a block? There's contact on the ball and body, and there's no foul. Not to say it doesn't happen, but it's rare. Guys, we talk about this all the time, right? Trae Young got him. Joel Embiid got him. You get these ticky-tacks. You get these celebrity calls. You don't get that.
Was it LaRon Landry?
That's exactly who it is, LaRon Landry.
LaRon Landry, and he was the one complaining, right?
He got it all big. He got too big to play. Roared it up. Got too big to play.
He was an LSU player, I think, wasn't he?
Yep.
He was on the Cowboys, I think, at one point too. No,
LaRon. He virtually lifted his way out of the NFL. He kept popping positive for steroids. Also,
wait, was he on Washington in that time period? Like
07 through 2011. Then he went to the Jets for a year, then the Colts. And he
I played with a guy like that too, Mark Carrier.
Okay.
Mark Carrier's the same way. I mean, he used to knock guys' head off. Steve Atwater, he couldn't be in the league anymore. All those guys, they played the game. They played the game the old school way. They said the best way to keep a guy from coming in your zone is to knock his head off.
Yeah, it's like Dawkins.
You knock their head off, then they'll be peeking around to see where you at. I can remember playing with Mark Carrier. Mark Carrier got fined like $25,000 the second game, and then like the fifth game, he got fined $50,000. And they said if you get fined one more time, they're gonna kick him out.
Wow,
$50,000 and $25,000 for hits.
That's insane.
Oh, crazy. But they, the NFL wanted more.
They want more points.
More points and
that's
more long passes.
Less injuries.
Yep.
Head injuries, yeah. I mean, Bob Sanders was one of the physical safeties.
Yep.
Who was great against the run, and he'd knock your head off in the pass game too.
Yep. Your boy, Eytan.
Rodney?
Yeah. Rod would definitely take your head off.
No doubt.
God, yeah. He was one of those guys where somebody had to, but it didn't work. Forget who it was on the Chargers, but it was like the first day of pads and contact, he's laying people out.
On his own team.
Yeah, his own team. And I forget, it wasn't Junior, but somebody comes up to him and was like, "Yo, man, you got to slow down." He's like, "No, man, I'm Hot Rod. I don't slow down, man. I'm Hot Rod."
No, it was Junior that said it.
Was it?
Yeah, he said it was Junior that said that.
Oh, Sayal?
Yeah, Sayal.
Yeah, he didn't even listen
pull him
to
aside.
Sayal. I told you how much of a rockhead he is. He won't even listen to Sayal. Oh, man.
That's how you make your niche. That's how you play.
Is there anything that would bring us to Atlanta again and justify like a show or something? Because we got to go check him out, man.
Oh, Rodney?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
First game.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What are we thinking about, man?
Dude.
First game.
First game overall.
Oh, I'm starting to see the promos now for Dallas against Tampa Bay already, and they're playing Guns N' Roses, over the video. I got to admit, it got me a little fired up. It moved.
I love that, man.
Yeah.
I love that.
I think it's NBC's. Is it NBC? Yeah, I guess it would be NBC. Because it's a Thursday night game, or is that CBS? I can't even keep track.
Thursday night, I think, is Fox, isn't it?
I mean, we don't know. It's unbelievable.
Well, no, because Props and Locks is Fox, so that's why we go live Thursday nights before the game. That's why, at a certain time when we're back at this month.
The three games, the three preseason games are Thursday night games, right?
It's CBS. No, it's NBC. I'm sorry. NBC against Dallas. Yes.
Oh, that's the season opener.
Yes.
Sorry. Season opener. I thought you meant
that's NBC.
Yes. Now I have a play on that under 51.5 total. Two
like
quarterbacks,
that.
one coming back. But look, don't be fooled by the celebration or by some Dak Prescott press conferences. Both of these guys are coming off of injury and surgery.
Yeah.
All right, this is not going to be fireworks, especially the Bucs, who are coming off playing in the Super Bowl.
Correct.
This is going to be let's get in, let's get out. Don't expect a lot of fun. Mike McCarthy could screw up a ham sandwich if you made it and sliced it up and fed it to him. So don't expect a lot of fireworks in this one. Do I need to run through this again for you?
No, you're right.
Football content right here.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yes, sir.
Ah, jeez. I hate to do it to you.
No, it was NBC because it was on the Golf Channel when I was watching the Senior Open Championship.
Waiting for the 3M like I was?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, because it was pouring rain here most of the day. Sunday.
Yeah.
Media property in partnership with
Remember that
JAKIB
song?
Media.
What happened to that song we had? Where it was like,
And you, my friend,
The Middle starts now.
No?
On the Sports
No.
Radio Network.
Come on,
Presented
man.
by Rocket Mortgage. Home loans that fit your life.
That post-
Rocket can.
Live from the O'Reilly
Post Malone.
Studios.
Come on, man.
Here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays. You know my name, huh?
Here we go. Hour 2 now, live on the network, still live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. Was going through the first of a couple. Remember, the plays here that I was able to bring you day one in which the schedule was announced. So already game one, Harry was mentioning, geeked up. The promos are out there. What is it, Brady? Like, what else would they promo besides?
Oh no, it's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of good footage of Tampa. You know, all their players in action. You know, they have the Dallas Cowboys. You know, coming onto the field out of the tunnel. You know, they're playing this Guns N' Roses music. It got me fired up. I have to admit.
What song from Guns N' Roses?
I think it's "Welcome to the Jungle." I think it's the open of that. So it's almost like you're at a Flyers game. You remember when they come out of the room, they jump on the ice to the pregame skate, and you hear Axl Rose like wailing away and Slash.
Are we still doing "Welcome to the Jungle"?
Oh yes,
bro.
Like,
That's
1986.
Well, okay. What's more played out at arenas, "Welcome to the Jungle" or "Jump"? To get people to jump
the
out
worst, the all-time worst, and I can't believe they still play it.
Mm-hmm.
Is what is it? Who let the dogs out?
Oh yeah.
Are people playing that at arenas too?
Yes.
Well, you got to understand though. Like, I don't know about that song, but the NHL is still stuck in the early '80s. Like all those arenas in Canada, you would think Quiet Riot is top 40 music if you're up in Edmonton. Honestly.
Quiet
Come on,
Riot
feel the
is,
noise.
Come on, feel the noise.
Yeah.
Come on, feel the noise. Right?
That ain't so.
Your boys. All right. This is out right now. According to ESPN, the Texans want a combination of high draft picks and, quote, starting caliber players.
I just saw this. Yeah, for Deshaun Watson. He's
He
now,
is
quote unquote, officially available.
You know, quick theory on this, as we're back in 3 on the network, still live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. I think the Texans were like, there's no way he shows up. And Watson was like, I'm showing up. And now they got to trade him. We're back in 3. This is like one of these Seinfeld George Costanza bluffs. Remember where he fakes being handicapped?
Yeah.
And they're just like, look, man, everybody here in the building knows that you're faking being handicapped. You're still going to show up? And he's like, well, I'm under contract. Absolutely. And he keeps showing up. And they make his life difficult. They bury him in some office downstairs where they're doing all this construction.
Costanza had no shame.
None
whatsoever.
None. And here's Watson showing up. And again, he's going to get fined $50K per day if he doesn't. So you know he's going to show up.
No question about that.
22 women still. This is yet to be put in a class action. So they're probably all individual at this point.
Wow.
Or some at least. Man.
Yeah. Joey B on the stream says Guns N' Roses opening their tour in Hershey. Well, and Judas Priest is opening their U.S. tour in Reading, PA.
What?
Yes.
Random, isn't it? Random?
Yeah. Sovereign Bank Arena.
Who's touring with both of them?
As far as like what, warm-up acts? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. You know, Kevin Kincaid will be there front center at the Judas Priest
Have
show.
you seen Axl Rose? You wouldn't even recognize
No,
Axl
I know.
Rose
He's
anymore.
fat, right?
And he just looks, he and Sebastian Bach. Sebastian
Yeah.
Bach looks like a different human being.
Yeah.
They're old now, bro. Come on, man.
Hey, it's beyond, it's Hollywood old, Barrett.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where there's like work that's been
There's
done.
bad plastic surgery, too
Totally.
much cocaine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like you can't get rid of that coke.
No.
Browns reportedly will not trade Kareem Hunt. Wow, Rams thought were to be making an offer. You know, this is crazy, man. Like, do you see this stuff with Bauer? No, nobody said anything in Houston. And not to say that people have to say anything in Houston. But did you see this report that came out of LA with Trevor Bauer?
No.
Pretty much everybody went on. Now, again, on some sort of record without their name, if you will. But the LA Times talked to a bunch of guys in the locker room, and nobody wants him back.
Wow.
Yeah, whatever.
Really?
Now he's a bad teammate. No, that's not happening. Are you kidding me? They wouldn't want him back because of what he's doing to the team as far as all right, you want to leave us and whatnot. But if he came back and starts slinging that thing the way he did before, they'd love him back and welcome with open arms.
Who, Bauer? Bauer's under
not Bauer.
serious allegations.
No, are you talking
I thought it was
Watson?
Deshaun.
Oh.
No, but this report was on Bauer, is what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
I don't see anything about the Texans saying anything.
This is The Middle on the Sports Map Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, so ESPN has this out now where the Texans are at least finally public through a report, of course, finally willing to change their tune again through a report. But look, this is more concrete than anything we've got from Portland, where there was this belief that Damian Lillard was gone, he's out, and Portland never said anything. I mean, even the Sixers have barely acknowledged. They have to some small extent, but the Sixers have barely acknowledged that Ben Simmons is on the move. This is a pretty definitive report here. When you start, it's one thing to say, yeah, we're open for business. It's another thing when you start to add some parameters in the report about a combination of high draft picks and starting caliber players in return. All right, well, immediately, because of local to national people, Philadelphia has been linked and then some to Deshaun Watson.
Right.
So first and foremost, you have to deal with what's happening off the field, which who the hell knows what's happening off the field from both a legal to what the NFL is going to do standpoint. The other element of it is, what are you giving up? We know that the Jets, like everybody who has picks right now, is going to be in the mix. That kid they drafted, Zach Wilson from BYU, is not preventing the Jets from making an aggressive, or anybody else, right?
You don't think so?
Oh, you know what? Let's do that real quick, gentlemen. How many teams would you say are off the hook right now from the Deshaun Watson sweepstakes? Like, there are going to be some obvious ones, right? Let's just go through it. Buffalo, yes. Miami, no.
No.
New England,
Kansas
no.
City.
Let's just go through
Kansas City's off, yeah.
All right, you're going to lose track of who we say if we don't go through division.
I'm just going to pull it up in front of me.
Buffalo, no. All three teams left, yes. Cincinnati, no. Cleveland, no.
No.
Pittsburgh, yes.
Yes.
But Baltimore, no. So you've got one at least definitive in there. AFC South. Tennessee, no. Indianapolis.
Jacksonville
Jacksonville is interesting, man.
Jacksonville. He's got to generate what he's being billed as a generational player at the top of the draft.
Yes, and so I'm saying no.
Okay, I'll give you that. No.
Yeah.
Denver, yes. Kansas City, Barrett, yes. No is out there.
No.
Vegas, yes. Absolutely, yes.
Yes.
Yep.
Chargers, no.
I'd say no.
I'd say no as well. Dallas, no. They're locked in with Dak.
Giants, yes.
Yes. Yes to all
Eagles,
three.
yes.
And
Washington, yes.
too, yes. Chicago, yes.
Yeah.
No, they just got Fields. Yeah.
I know.
The Fields?
Yeah, I think they're locked in. I think they like them a lot.
Okay.
Detroit, yes.
Yes.
Detroit, yes. Green Bay, yes. Absolutely, yes. And this is what scares the hell out of me with our futures ticket.
I know.
Vikings,
yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
Atlanta Falcons, absolutely. It's just I don't think that's ever going to happen. New
Panthers.
Orleans, come on. How could you not say New Orleans or Carolina, right?
Right.
Tampa, even Tampa.
Yeah,
No.
I mean, Tom's 45.
And this is his last year on contract.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll keep them off the books just for argument's sake. Finally, Rams, no. Cardinals, no. Although, boy, I mean, look,
Seattle,
there aren't many people you could upgrade with if you have Kyler Murray. Deshaun Watson is one of them.
Mm-hmm.
From an age and talent standpoint, I always know I got something if I see Barrett shaking his head yes. And I saw him rocking a little bit. A little bit. Look.
Deshaun is a top 5 talent, bro.
Absolutely. Kyler Murray's
Top
not
5.
there.
No, not even close.
Yet.
No.
All right. Now, the Niners, yes. I don't care about Trey Lance. You get Jimmy Garoppolo's ass out of there and Deshaun Watson in, yes.
Yeah.
Seattle, no.
So that's a lot of teams.
Yes. That's the point of it. Before we even got into the Eagles, understand that this is not just, well, the Eagles have the most draft picks, let's say, to offer. If a team is looking, in this case, allegedly to this report, looking for, quote, star caliber players in return, all three of us know this. Sean Mapes in for Ron Culver knows this. You out there on the stream knows this. It's the easiest way to mitigate damage lost if you don't have draft picks, is to say, all right, well, look, this linebacker, this running back, this tight end, he's got 3 years in the NFL. He's got 6. He's a Pro Bowler, what have you. That should make up for a second-round pick alone.
Mm-hmm.
This is not easy. This is not a slam dunk that the Eagles are going to get Watson just because he's available for a deal, guys.
And,
no, but how many teams have up to 3 first-round picks in the same draft?
And you know, you're right. None, nobody except for us. But would he want to come here? You know, he has that no trade clause in his contract. Would he want to come here? I mean, you got to question that. He can say no if he doesn't want to go.
Right. If any of these other, think about this. Why would he want to come here if Green Bay works a deal out for him?
Oh, yeah, that's
right.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's an even swap. Let's say Denver makes a deal for him.
Or Miami.
Miami, man. Miami's ready to go.
I know.
You bring in Deshaun Watson. Miami is ready to go. Right?
I don't think the Jets would do it.
You think the Jets are out? Do we need to bring in Asman?
I think Asman wants to go to battle with Wilson.
Right.
Wow, what a fool. You're an absolute fool. Seriously, what would you be thinking passing this up? Right?
But realistically, how you think he really plays this year?
No. Okay. Over under 8 games played. Push and play.
I'd say under. But I think he plays. I think he's eligible to play.
Yeah.
Look, these things individually and league have a funny way of working themselves out right before or at the start of the season.
Absolutely. It's just power of the NFL. The power of that shield.
Produce action. Yeah.
Right.
Think about it.
The power of that shield.
If I'm these women or one of these women or a lawyer representing these women, and I'm not any of these, so I have no experience speaking from any of it. I'm just saying from the outside of it, I'm thinking, all right, the longer this goes, the more leverage I have in a settlement. Because Deshaun Watson sitting out week 1, week 2, week 3. At some point, this dude's going to be like, hey, man, cut the check. Just cut the check. Go whoever we need to cut the check to, let's settle this out of court. Let's have some sort of NDA or something disclosed in there where I'm not admitting full guilt, but I'm also not admitting, all this stuff that we see a lot with these payouts. And then he's back on the field week 4, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the NFL has like the bare. Who is the lowest? What is it, like Safe Auto, right? These commercials where it's like the bare minimum coverage. The NFL has like the bare minimum requirement
or
for
the
you to
general
get back on the field. Yeah, the general.
Is it Safe Auto or the general?
It's one of the two. Right. The NFL is riding around with the general when it comes to requirements of you getting back to the field. Oh, there was a settlement. Okay. Oh, here you go. Do you want to see? There was a settlement. Do you want to see this? There was a settlement. Okay, you're back. Like they don't care.
Remember Ben? Ben had that problem with the girl. I think it was in Atlanta, and he got suspended for 6 games. He went back, and then they gave him 4 games, served it out, and you didn't hear anything else about it. I mean, they have prejudice when it comes to big name players. They just do.
I wouldn't be shocked.
Me? No. Oh, they just threw me underneath the jail. You know what I'm saying? I would never play that. They'd erase my name from all NFL books, video games, everything. But if you're a guy like Ben Roethlisberger, or Deshaun Watson, your name carries clout. It's a money-making tool. They are going to maximize your potential. So it might be that. It might be that. I mean, what if? All right, so what if it's like just one girl says yay and everybody else says nay, but he gets prosecuted for that one? I mean, what's the punishment for them for the NFL then? He holds a lot of power, man. Goodell holds a lot of power, man, and he makes sure that he can interpret it the way he feels like we're interpreting his rules. Also,
right?
There's nothing concrete in it.
Yeah, and it couldn't come out with some meaning nothing 2-game suspension. This would have to be like something where it's 8 games and maybe they whittle it down to 6. On appeal or whatever.
Like I said, Ben had 1 allegation. He's got 22.
No, I think Ben had 2, didn't he? But they were 2 separate times.
Oh, that's right. It was 2. It was 2 different stuff.
And I think the first one was kind of just like, as you explained, I think, didn't he serve like 2 games or something?
Yeah, he did. He did serve
4
a couple
games, right?
I think it might have been 4.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It was for 6. And
but he ended up, they ended up knocking it down to 4.
Kyle Lowry looking for a $90 million contract over 3 years. You think the Sixers are going to trade for him?
Oh, God.
Huh?
Really?
Keep his name out of your brain.
Yeah. I don't want to get involved in that.
We'll save it for Kyle. Look, not Kyle Lowry. Kai Carlin is going to
Carlin, yeah.
40 Eastern time. So we'll save it for them. Just again, sprinkling. But who are the Eagles going to give up from a player standpoint? Right?
For who?
For
Sean?
Well, a Maxey or a Thibault or both.
No. Who are the Eagles going to give up for Deshaun? Like what players
from a
do you
player?
See? Yeah, again, when you see in this report, at least, and I'm going to use the terminology, quote, starting caliber players, okay?
Zach Ertz?
No.
Zach Ertz. Take Brandon Brooks back.
Man, Brandon Brooks, he's been
he's a top 3 guard in the league.
When he's healthy.
When he's healthy,
though.
Yeah.
Right? He hasn't been healthy. And look, our guards
Andre Dillard.
Hold on a second. Linemen, no offense, Barrett Brooks, but linemen outside of tackles, left tackles specifically, those guys, you don't see big blockbuster deals with them, right? As far as trades are concerned.
Right.
Okay, here's a question. It's probably more obvious than not, but we should assume that Jalen Hurts is thrown in this deal, right? Like, without question, Jalen Hurts is in this deal, right?
Yeah.
There's no way. Okay, so that starts to soften the ask for a starting caliber player that you at least have a kid who was taken in the 2nd round, last draft, and is a quarterback that you can at least look at this year. You can put Jalen Hurts in front of teammates and just look at what he does. All right. So let's continue this here. We'll take a break before Kai. Back in 3 on the network. It's the middle. So let's look at this here real quick. We're rolling. I mean, would you look to trade Barnett?
Oh.
Fletcher Cox?
Oh.
Right? Remember, who was it?
More like a Fletcher Cox. It wouldn't be Barnett. Because Barnett just has 1 year left on his deal. Fletch, the name is still there. He can still move the crowd a little bit. He'll have a little more worth. Who else would be a potential? I would say somebody like a Goddard. They might want to move. He's a top 10 tight end in the league. Other than that, I mean, I can't see anybody that has that kind of cachet to be moved like that. I mean, Fletcher Cox, Goddard,
Brandon Brooks.
All right, so
Brandon
look at
Brooks, that's about it. Or Lane.
What would 2 first-round picks, Fletcher
Jalen
Cox
Hurts
and Jalen Hurts, get you in return? Deshaun Watson.
Watson.
And what?
And Deshaun Watson in his court case.
And maybe a future pick in the later, maybe 3rd-round pick.
Oh, hold on. The line of the day right there. Did you miss that, Harry?
What's that?
Barrett didn't
what did he
miss
say?
a beat. Say it would get you Deshaun Watson and his court case.
Yeah, no, Deshaun Watson and a masseuse.
At least you're guaranteed
a personal
one.
masseuse.
You know that.
Right.
I just don't understand it, man. I mean,
I've stopped trying to figure out athletes and actors and musicians and the stuff that they do. I just,
It says in the court case, digital stimulation.
Digital.
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Digital stimulation?
Oh, meaning like using your digits as in fingers? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, digital, not
Yes.
not like something you'd buy at Brookstone, Harry.
Yeah,
Right.
not like in computer love.
Right, exactly. It's not a massage chair
No.
that you get at Brookstone.
Not computer love either.
Yeah.
Not that digital.
Yeah.
No, we don't go full digital. Not Bobby digital.
I just hope the fingernails were manicured and, somewhat maintained.
I think
You know what I'm saying?
that's like a prerequisite. Don't you ask that ahead of time?
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. We all see it.
Right.
Mhm.
When I first read that in the court case, man, I was actually at White Castles, man, up in North Jersey.
Oh, you did? You went on the trip to get to White Castle
No
with
question.
the grandson? Yeah.
No question. Yeah.
50 miles?
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Had to go get it. Today might be one of those days too.
And it was worth it?
Oh, every bit of worth it. Every bit.
Hmm.
I mean, you just don't understand, man. Nothing like those White Castle burgers. They melt in your mouth, man.
Mm-hmm. What are they made out of?
I don't know.
Yeah, don't ask.
That's why I'll never ask. No,
Right.
I mean, I'll never ask what pork roll is, or
Right.
or bologna, or hot dogs. Just let me be.
Live that life of bliss, ignorance. Absolutely.
Let me be ignorant of it. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to know.
Nope, absolutely not. Wow. Now, look, I did put it out. Dr. Ambro on Twitter, first, Barnett, Ertz, and a conditional pick for Watson or no deal. No deal.
Say it again?
Zach Ertz, 2 first-round picks, Derek Barnett, Zach Ertz, and a conditional. That ain't working.
So not Hurts?
No.
Oh.
No.
That doesn't make sense. You got 2 guys that aren't on contracts. They're playing this 1 year for a contract, and 2 first rounders. There's no way that the Houston football team is going to do that. There's no way. The Texans aren't that stupid.
Right.
I wish, but 2 expiring contracts.
Yeah, this
and
is
2
the
first
NBA.
Right.
Yeah, where those expiring contracts are like gold.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense. Who said that?
What?
Who sent the report out?
Somebody on Twitter.
Oh.
No, this was ESPN.
No,
ESPN said that.
Which report?
About the Zach Ertz.
No, that was just
a tweet out.
Yeah, that was a response to a tweet.
Out, and that was the response that I got.
Yeah.
A couple of people said, like at Broad Street Bully 45, I'll take a top end quarterback for one proven NFL player that's most likely on the other side of his prime. And that means, of course, Fletcher Cox. Look, I just want people, we have this misconception of, because we know our teams, we know, oh, you're getting a bargain, you're getting a deal. It's like a parent, right, propping up their child for some sort of role in a play. Not only is my kid amazing as far as an actor is concerned, but they're really great around the house. They listen and they pay it. They do their chores. They watch
do their chores.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Who cares that Greg Ward is a great teammate or that Zach Ertz is an Eagles Hall of Famer? The NFL's looking and saying, what the hell have they done last year? Jack bleep. So they're not as enticing of it. That's all.
Ryan Fitzpatrick calls the Washington football team the best situation I've ever been in.
That's always the best situation you've ever been in.
Really?
The current situation.
Exactly.
Yep.
There's no question about that, man.
It's like saying the wife that you're with now is she's the best.
Of course.
She's the best one out of all four of them that I've had.
Seriously. I mean, what else is he going to say?
Right.
And this just becomes like, oh my God, I can't believe he said it.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Well, I think he said that while he was in Miami also.
Yeah, I think he did. You're right. I think he definitely did.
He's in competition with Taylor Heineke.
Yeah, it's like the guy who calls up every single radio show and says, hey,
great show.
Love your show. And it's like, oh, you just told the last three shows the same thing. So which one really is the great? We can't all be good. We're getting crushed. Luka dropped 48 in his debut as Slovenia crushed Argentina. You guys catch that? You guys all Slovenia it up?
No, I actually, you're going to laugh. I actually did watch a few of the swimming races last night.
Yes. Which one?
Oh, so your sister has Peacock, huh?
No, this was on NBC.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, we don't have Peacock.
Right.
That Ledecky, she lost in the 400 meters. The United States gal. She lost to that Australian.
Right.
Titmus, I think, is her last name. It's kind of an unfortunate last name.
You think so?
Yeah.
It was worth your time and return of investment?
Well, it took like 2-3 minutes.
They should have an Olympic event for eating White Castle burgers. I guarantee I'd win.
Yeah? Competitive eating with White Castle?
And I dusted it off. Before we even got back on 295 to get back. I had dusted off like
we might be able to set that up on the JAKIB YouTube channel.
Right. I had dusted off 5 double cheeseburgers, bro.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's a lot of bread too, man.
Yeah. Then no, because there's small sliders. And then before I got home, this is what I ordered. I ordered 8 double cheeseburgers. I ordered 8 surf and turfs. Yeah. And then I ordered some clams and some French fries.
Jesus.
Yeah, bro. I ate it for lunch and for dinner that night.
A snack for lunch, or a big lunch and a snack for dinner.
It's not a snack though, Harry. It's a sack. Sack for lunch. I'm gonna have a sack for dinner. You can see Barrett walking around Target with these slipper shoes.
Yeah.
I'm going to have a sack for lunch.
When I get through with this show, I'm going to have some White Castles and a...
I saw the latest one where they're in the airport. I didn't think it was that good.
Just at the end, the very end, when you turn around, see, you should have got there earlier.
Oh, when the guy's running?
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wow. And then she was in the what is the store. She pulls out all these snacks. See, I got all these snacks for the plane.
Yeah. I'm telling you, that's you with the sack. You just replaced snack.
Just a sack of White Castle.
And that's you, man. You're like, you have now moved up on the list of sacks. You've moved up above Joey Sack. Isn't that the guy's name from
Johnny Sack? Johnny Sack. One of the greatest characters ever.
Really?
Oh, he was phenomenal.
What was his last name? Sack Ramon?
Yeah, Sack Ramon. Yeah. Johnny Sack. I love the way that guy smoked the cigarette.
Yeah, it's amazing. Now, do you have the link, by the way, you can forward to Kai? I tried to find it on here, but I need.
I don't have Kai's email.
Forward it to me again.
Oh.
For some reason, I deleted it on my phone after I logged in, and I can't get it on my actual email. So just send it to me, whatever.
All right.
And finally here, before we get to Kai Carlin, I should mention that, well, as far as...
Sent.
Good. Look, Peter King came out and said that the Eagles make the most sense. We just needed something from Houston. So nobody here is advocating for, or at least I'm not advocating for the Eagles to trade for him. But I think it's kind of interesting that everybody from local to national has connected the Eagles to Watson. The only thing we've been missing is what came out today, which is something saying from the Texans that they're open for business.
Right. And I'm advocating for it.
You are?
Yeah. He's a top 5 quarterback.
Who are you going to do? You like my deal? Like, what are you giving up? We have Mark Ryan, who's out there, does some work still in Houston, who's saying it's going to take 4 first-rounders and that the Texans don't have interest in either Cox or Hurts.
Oh, so they don't want players.
I don't know. We have to get Mark on to talk about that.
Okay.
They do want players. Maybe they just don't want our players.
Right.
So
you're giving up, 2 first-rounders this year, and then you skip a year. You give up one in 2023 and one in 2025.
Yeah.
And that way you still have a first-round pick of your own.
Right. Not bad. Not bad. All right, we'll get Kai on coming up next. Ah, jeez, I just deleted that now.
Oh, my God. What is wrong with you?
What happened to it?
I sent it to you. Do I have to send it again?
Hold on.
Hey, Smith, you right? At takeoff, we don't need to identify your home or any other landmarks.
Right. Yeah, I do that. I can find anything looking out of a plane.
I can't, man, but I can see I can see that happening too.
Oh yeah. I'm telling my wife that's such and such a golf course down there. You see that? There's the 17th hole.
Oh, there's my swimming pool.
Uh-huh.
Oh my goodness. That guy, man, Dr. Rick. The guy goes up to the woman as far as tickets. Eytan, I'm being serious, man. I don't see it. I don't think there's a way in which we'll be able to get Deshaun.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, all 3 draft picks. But look, trading 3 draft picks, Fletcher Cox and Jalen Hurts, is ridiculous. I think you would be leveraged at that point, to be honest with you.
Right.
You'd be.
I mean, it'll be the best bang for buck for them.
Right.
But still, at no point do I see Deshaun wanting to come here.
Well, that's probably the biggest part of all of it, right?
And he has that no trade clause, so I don't see how that's how that we can even make that deal come about.
Right.
Man, I'm looking at this clip on IG where Nick Chubb, the running back, power cleans 425 pounds. That is
wow. Yeah, he's ridiculous.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
That hurt me just looking at it.
That's why he doesn't go down at first contact.
Right.
we get Kai on? I thought I said so. Oh yeah.
This is The Middle on the SportsMap Radio Network.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Live from the O'Reilly Auto Parts Studios, here's Eytan Shander, Barrett Brooks, and Harry Mays.
All right, let's go out and bring in Kai Carlin, of course, at Kai_Carlin, as I can follow him on Twitter. Been on the program long enough to be considered now a friend of the show. So I hope you're okay with that phrase.
I'm okay with that phrase. You guys are good people. So
appreciate that, man.
Wow. Now people on the stream are like, dude, this is definitely set up. He blew the bit. He called them good people. Like he had leaving until then.
He went a little too far.
Oh, damn it. The jig is up. The jig is up.
It took 20 seconds. Kai's with, of course, Sixers Wire for USA Today, the Bell Ringer podcast as well. All right, let's look at this, man. Ben Simmons, it's not going away. And I saw you actually, Sixers Wire was the first story on my prep sheet that it linked to with this Raptors story that I guess populated from Mark Stein. So let's just talk about that in specifics. What's the latest with Ben Simmons and the possibility of him going to Toronto of all places?
I feel like the only way you can even – I feel like actually we're going to connect Ben to Kyle Lowry because I feel like, the Sixers have been linked to one of the teams that have been in top pursuit of Lowry. They wanted him at the deadline. They're now going to pursue him here in the offseason. The thing is, though, they don't have any money to play with in free agency. So in order to acquire Lowry, it's going to have to be a sign and trade type of deal. So now the risk and the question does become, are you giving up Ben Simmons in a sign and trade to Toronto to bring in Kyle Lowry? Wow. And I think that's a question that I don't know if you can really give that up, considering Lowry is 10 years older than Simmons right now. And I mean, listen, as much as everybody wants to kind of pile on Ben for the lack of an offensive game, and I mean, rightfully so, he is still a much better player right now than Kyle Lowry is. So I don't know if I would really give up Ben to Toronto really for anything. I mean, I don't really know if there's really anything on Toronto's roster that really entices me if I'm the Sixers. The only one that really does come to mind is Lowry, but the age difference is that's a whole decade. That's crazy.
That's a deal breaker to me.
Right.
No question.
Seriously.
No question. Yeah. Well, looking at it then, all right, so is there any way that you think that they can execute a trade with a guy like Brandon Ingram? Because we think of Ben, we think it could be an all-star. Yeah, I mean, you came up with this, and ever since then you've been pushing me down a rabbit hole, and I want now.
I mean, Brandon Ingram is one of the more interesting guys to me, just because he's long, he's athletic, he can also shoot the ball, which obviously that's always a very attractive skill when it comes to not just the league but the Sixers as a whole. If you move Ben for a guy like Ingram, all of a sudden you're putting a volume shooter, a volume scorer next to Joel, a guy who can take over from the perimeter at the drop of a hat, when they need it. Another guy who I know everybody's kind of been floating this one around is Bradley Beal. Beal reportedly is getting a little frustrated with the Wizards just because he actually wanted the Wizards to hire Sixers assistant Sam Cassell. And Cassell was actually an assistant in Washington for Beal's first couple seasons there before he went out and joined Doc Rivers in L.A. And Cassell didn't even get a second interview with Washington. And they were able, and obviously they hired Wes Unseld Jr. as their new coach. So that did frustrate Bradley a little bit. A report came out from Fred Katz of The Athletic that, sure, Bradley's frustrated. He might request a trade. The Sixers are definitely going to be involved in that in the mix for a Bradley Beal deal. So I feel like if you're Philadelphia, you prefer a guy like Beal than maybe Ingram at that point.
Yeah.
It seems like you're thinking from an all-star standpoint, because Ingram isn't an all-star. I just thought it would be a better trade because, you look at what Ben is as far as his record, his achievements would make it an easier trade to facilitate.
Yeah, it definitely would be an easier one just because Ben's 25. And he still has so much growing to do. And New Orleans is a team that is definitely going to take, all this young talent and continue to kind of grow with it. But if you want to win now, Beal makes a lot more sense than a guy like Ingram. And I feel like with Joel's timeline, because he's 27. You never know with his body, like how much longer he even has left. Because, and I'm not sitting here saying that like Joel's like going to go down anytime soon. What I'm saying is though, his prime, in my opinion, could be shorter than other stars just because of how many injuries he has taken to his body. So I feel like if you're Philadelphia right now, you have to really think win now. And Beal just makes much, much more sense because he's also in the win now timeline.
What would the percentage be if I asked you, Kai, to say X amount Ben Simmons is back to at least start the season with Philadelphia?
I'll be honest with you. In my heart of hearts, I think Ben's gone. I think a Ben Simmons trade is inevitable.
Before the season starts.
Right. If it's before I'll give it a 30% chance that he's on the roster opening night.
Okay.
That's pretty high, though. I thought you were going to say like a non-0%, like, a 4% chance or something.
No, because, Eytan, the way I look at it is it's like they really want that all-star, and they should want an all-star for a guy who's 25, and he's been an all-star 3 times. And he's made all defensive first team twice, and he also made all NBA third team in 2020. So despite this 2021 playoff run, you could definitely use an upgrade there. Like, as I mentioned, you go out to a guy like Beal. Barrett mentioned Brandon Ingram. Lillard is obviously a guy who's always out there for, a possible trade because he's also getting frustrated in Portland. But at the same time, though, like if you can't get a guy like that for Ben, then it's definitely more worth it to bring him back and try again rather than settle.
Well, okay, so that is an interesting point where I don't think I'm with you where inevitable is definitely the term that I would use, and then back if you and others are using it who are covering the team. But that wiggle room, I don't know. I don't know what the difference is between a trade that Daryl Morey passes up and says, no, I'm better off holding off until maybe I can work. Or, you know what? This is still not what I want, but it's really the best I can get even if I hold him. Like, what is the floor, I guess, or for the trade for Ben Simmons to where Morey still says, you know what? I got value. But we all look at it and say, well, okay, that's definitely
should have gotten more.
Yeah, but we also recognize that there was a somewhat of a risk in that this is not settling for 50 cents on the dollar pre-trade deadline, but it's maybe settling for 85 cents on the dollar pre-trade deadline, knowing that you would probably have to settle for like 70 cents on the dollar during the season.
Yeah, that's honestly a tough question. I don't even know what the floor is for him because it's just like Ben Simmons is like one of the more unique players in the game. And it's so hard to really understand, like kind of gauge his value a little bit because he's accomplished so much, but his struggles in the playoffs have kind of become a trend. Like 2021 obviously wasn't the first time we've seen him struggle in the postseason. We all remember the Toronto series. I think he had maybe one really big offensive explosion against Toronto in round 2. We all remember his struggles against Boston in 2018. I think he scored 1 point in game 2 of that series. So I'm Barrett shaking his head. And then obviously 2021, the struggles this season. So it's kind of hard to really gauge his real value because he's obviously a talented player. He's obviously 25, so he's got so much more throwing left to do. But he also has like this weird mental block when it comes to his offensive game that kind of keeps teams away a little bit too. So it's kind of hard to really gauge his value right now in terms of his floor. He's definitely worth an all-star, but in terms of like what you were saying, Eytan, where you're kind of settling for maybe 85 cents, 70 cents on the dollar.
Yeah,
I couldn't even tell you.
Go ahead, Barrett.
No, I was going to say, So we need to stop with all this Sacramento Kings nonsense. You know, there's no way that we're going to get anything from them for somebody as accomplished as Ben.
Well, I saw the Buddy Hield thing, and obviously Buddy Hield is a good scorer, but the way I see it is the Sixers need shot creation. And I don't see Hield as a guy who's going to put the ball on the floor and create his own look. Hield is a spot-up shooter, and and that's what they got Seth Curry for, and possibly bringing Danny Green back. So they already have that. To me, you need a guy who can create. The Sixers have not had a shot creator from the perimeter in forever. And I mean, Tobias Harris, bless his heart, he did a really good job this year of really adding that a bit to his game. But Tobias is more of I'm going to post up, and then also I'm going to spot up for threes myself. Tobias isn't going to kill you off the dribble. Yeah. So when I look at the Sixers, they badly need shot creation. So I'm not going after a guy like Hield. To me, if I'm Daryl Morey, I'm focusing on Lillard first, Beal second, and then if it comes down to it, Barrett, I would go to Brandon Ingram because he can't put the ball on the floor and create his own look. So that's just kind of how I see it.
All right, let's take those three guys. Forget about Ben for a second. Those three guys are the guys you covet. You would take any one of them, right? Who is the biggest competitor or competitive market / team that the Sixers really will be in a fight for? In other words, where say, yeah, but all three of those guys would rather go to Miami before they want to go to Philadelphia. Is it Miami?
I think for Beal, and Fred Katz's report, for example, I think he included Atlanta as a team that would probably be in the mix for Beal. And I mean, a Bradley Beal, Trae Young backcourt is a scary thought, by the way. That's a scary thought for the Hawks and just the rest of the league. So I feel like Atlanta could be a team that could really challenge them for Beal. When it comes to Lillard, I think I saw Miami and San Antonio were actually two teams that were, trying to get in on Lillard as well. So those would probably be the top competitors really for both Beal and Lillard there. When it comes to Ingram, I don't think I've actually seen anybody really, scouring for Brandon Ingram. So you could probably even get more out of New Orleans for a guy like Simmons. Like instead of just Ingram, you could probably get another piece or two.
Right. I do wonder, is there any possibility that, and this is something that's not been talked about much because I just don't know how possible it really would be. Is there any ability for the Sixers to simply clear that money and then approach somebody in free agency with the money? So essentially a salary dump of Simmons and then trying to spend money. And again, this is going to be really difficult and probably not even close to probable, if not impossible. But I don't even know if that's, again, this is based off of the notion, Kai, that the Sixers may not be able to get Bradley Beal or Damian Lillard or somebody along those lines. Think about that real quick. We're going to take a break on the network. Back in 3 on Sports Map Radio, still live on the JAKIB Media YouTube page. It's the middle. So does that make sense?
A little bit. But at the same time, though, it's tough because I'm not trying to salary dump Simmons. Unless you can guarantee that in free agency you're going to grab, a guy of that caliber, like that all-star caliber, you know. So that would definitely be kind of a tough decision to make. Simmons is just. I still consider Simmons a top 25 player in this league. Despite that 2021 playoff run, I mean, he's probably 24th or 25th, kind of at the back end of it. But I mean, I still consider Simmons a very talented player. There's still a lot that I feel like he can still, grow as a player. I still feel like he impacts the game in so many different ways. His defensive ability, even just to be able to kind of shut down a guy like Jason Tatum when they play the Celtics. When they played the Lakers, when LeBron did play, I thought he did a really good job on LeBron. They played Brooklyn, and he really shut down James Harden in that that one win here in Philly. So I mean, there's a lot that he can do. It's just that mental block come playoff time is just it's really that just really kind of it's hard to gauge his value just that way. But he's still a very good player. So I feel like you need an all-star in return for sure.
I still think he might still be here, man, because I don't think that anybody else is going to value him like we value him here. And, I know the GM is used to, he's used to hunting big fish. But in hunting these big fish, man, I still think we're not going to get the bang for our buck. So at this point, I'm willing to say, okay, then I'll make a sacrifice to put 1 foot forward and at least put Embiid in a better position to bring the city a championship.
Yeah, and that's kind of like the biggest thing. If you're Philadelphia and you can't get what you think you can get for Simmons, then you bring him back. It is definitely is it as a smart choice to bring him back and then just try again. And then if he's still the same player, like as the season continues to progress, we're still not seeing any type of progression. Then at the deadline, you can be like, all right, listen, we've had enough.
But then
did eat some humble pie.
His value could be even lower.
His value could be lower, Harry. And then that's really that's a big risk. Like this is the whole Simmons thing right now is a huge risk because let's say you trade him, right? Let's just say they come up with a deal. Let's just even go with Ingram. Let's just say randomly they move Ben to New Orleans for Brandon Ingram. All of a sudden, Ben blossoms because he's in a smaller market. There's no pressure on him to win in New Orleans as there is in Philadelphia. And Simmons all of a sudden is pulling up from 30 feet. Like all of a sudden, it kind of feels like it's like a lose-lose situation a little bit. It's like this whole thing is a risk, like when it comes to him.
Yeah.
Because you could bring him back. You could bring him back, and he's still the same player, and you're still wasting your time.
Right.
All right. I'm curious, though. I don't personally believe, and I don't have any interaction with the guy, but I've been in the city a long time, and I know that people lie. Athletes like Barrett, who played here, they lie. They lie because life is easier when you just tell us what we want to hear. You're the best fans in the world. You're the most knowledgeable. And you can wear a shirt with the fanatic, with the guns and everything. Like, it's so easy to pander to the city. And look, the smart ones like Barrett and others recognize right away, hey, man, life is just better for me if I reply. All right. Or if I pander, pardon me. So I don't personally believe Ben Simmons. Why would Ben Simmons want to come back here? He was pinned as the number one reason why they blew it yet again, even though Doc Rivers did his stuff. Even Embiid didn't have a great series against the Hawks as much as we needed him, all that other stuff. Tobias Harris, it felt like, was let off the hook more than not. Simmons is the focus of it. To your point too, Kai, this is a guy who allegedly sat out his real rookie year because he savvy. No, savvy. I was going to say savvy. What's the adverb for savvy? Whatever it is. In a savvy mentality, he could make more money, right? If he sat out that first year, it was
$5 million more.
That's what I'm saying, Barrett. So he's already shown precedent to understand his value and how it could deteriorate if he made a move. You're telling me that Simmons wouldn't already get ahead of this and say, look, man, look. I don't want my value to drop the first 2 weeks of the season. Get my ass out of here. That's all I'm saying, Kai, is that truthfully, I don't believe, and this is not a knock, but I just don't believe Ben Simmons wants to be here.
Honestly, Eytan, you bring up a great point because I feel like even on opening night, like let's say he's here and Matt Cord introduces him, in the starting lineup opening night. I feel like there's going to be a little mixture of boos in there, like a little bit. Like it won't just be the rah Ben Simmons cheer. I feel like there's going to be some booing in there, because as you mentioned, the fans here, they've had it. They've had enough. They're frustrated, and I can't blame them. So would Ben want to come back to that? Who knows? I mean, one quote that kind of sticks out to me was in 2019 when they lost to Brooklyn in game 1 in round 1 of that series.
Yep.
And he got booed, and Ben said after the game, if you're going to boo, stay on that side. We don't want you here.
Yep.
And it kind of was like, dude, that's Philadelphia, man. They care. This is how the city works. So, and this is what I've always said about him. I feel like maybe a change of scenery would probably be the best for him right now. Yep. To Eytan's point. And that's why I feel like a Simmons trade is inevitable. Like, I feel like it's going to come at some point. It feels like the writing really is on the wall with him. And when you can trade trade him, I feel like to a smaller market where there's not much pressure to win, and he can continue to develop his game. And I guess Eytan's point, really grow his value a little bit more, because in Philadelphia, if he comes back here and he's still the same player, he is going to get killed by everybody here.
Kai, thank you, brother.
Thanks,
Appreciate
Kai.
you popping on. I know short notice. Great stuff. Great insight at Kai_Carlin. Thank you.
I want to thank you guys a lot for having me on as a friend of the program. You guys are great. And I'll talk to you guys later.
We're back over time next.
I get scared sometimes.
Of a lot of things.
Joining in.
Decisions.
The dark.
The dark.
But I once heard someone say,
But as I always say,
it's okay to be afraid
as long as you face the fear.
and keep moving forward.
Wherever you are in life, count on the name trusted in insurance for over 80 years. Independence Blue Cross.
The savoring taste of a good bag of beef jerky is so enjoyable at any time of the day, as long as you can find it. Here's what we suggest. Pure Bull beef jerky is our answer, and soon it will be yours. Locally produced in the Philadelphia region, this high-quality, healthy protein snack is easy to secure. Go to steersnacks.com, and you'll see hot garlic, tropical heat, Pure Bull dry rub, and our favorite, Huck and Fod. What's that? Huck and Fod. Go now to steersnacks.com.
Welcome to the Wildwoods, the perfect place where you can safely do everything or nothing at all. Catch a wave, take a nap, go for a drive, grab a bite. It's your vacation, and we're doing everything we can to make it a safe one. The Wildwoods. Your vacation, your way.
The International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local Union 98, is a proud sponsor of The Labor Show with J. Doc and Krause every Saturday night from 6 till 8 p.m. IBEW Local 98's highly trained and superbly skilled electricians are the best in the business, setting the highest safety standards in the electrical industry. So when you're planning your next industrial, commercial, or residential project, choose an IBEW Local 98 union contractor. Learn more at ibew98.org.
On the field of life, First Trust Bank is there for you.
Champions on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Because Philadelphia dreams deserve a Philadelphia bank.
This is a key. It's a family tree. It's a pair of wings. It's a secret handshake. And a ticket to anywhere in the world. It's more than a uniform. It's the door to a world most people only dream of. There's Strong, and then there's Army Strong. Try it on at GoArmy.com.
All right, so great news for us here.
Yes.
Amazing news for us. And look,
Rap sheet. Remember,
we got in at plus 2,000, and I have a little theory here, but go ahead and break the news, Harry.
Well, yeah, I just saw this on Ian Rappaport's Rap Sheet Twitter, basically saying that we are good for at least this year, and our bet should be fine because, according to other sources around Aaron Rodgers, I want to word this properly. Let me see. Now, Rap Sheet has been known to get some things wrong, too, in the past, so keep that in mind. Quarterback Aaron Rodgers has indicated to people close to him that he does plan to play for Green Bay this season. That is the expectation. Many factors are at play, but with GM Brian Gutekunst saying he is, quote, unquote, hopeful for a positive outcome, there is a glimmer of optimism. We have a glimmer.
That's all we needed was a glimmer.
A glimmer.
That's all we needed, man, and deservedly so. That you know, he's going to come back and play. He turned down the contract, so he's going to be pissed off, which is going to work in our favor. Mm-hmm. And that means that since he's going to be pissed off, that means he'll go out and play.
He's going to
bet
ball
on
out.
himself. Yeah, and he's going to show everybody. He's going to show them, hey, you see, you pissed me off. This is what you're losing next year.
He's going to ball out for Green Bay this year. Next year, he's going to be in Las Vegas.
Yeah,
correct.
With the Raiders.
Correct.
With his boy.
Yeah,
he's gonna take his boy with him.
He'll save Gruden's career.
Yep. Yeah, and then he's gonna take his receiver with him too.
Right.
Exactly.
He'll take his toy and go play somewhere else.
Right. Wow.
It's insane, man. No, we look great, don't we?
I feel better about it.
No question. No
So do
question.
You know,
I know he had to come back. I mean, what GM in their right mind? I mean, Carson Wentz is totally different. He didn't have the season that Carson Wentz had. But we're talking about a guy that should have been up for the MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We're talking about him and him not being traded. No, he's not. No.
And were it not for a very questionable offensive play call, he might have been in the Super Bowl.
There's no question about that.
Yeah.
Very questionable.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I think, honestly, Books realized that he was going to be back, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Books realized that he himself was going to come back, right? So what they needed to do, they needed to find a reason to take this off the board. So it's really easy to say, oh, we got a report from somebody we trust that Aaron Rodgers is going to. All you needed was the vehicle to justify taking it off the board.
Well, what do you mean? And then bringing back Green Bay's odds later this week at much lower than 20-1.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, are they back? Have they been adjusted since this?
I haven't seen anything, but we're locked in at 20-1, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. I still have Green Bay 17 on one book, 2,000 on another. So we'll see here. Maybe I was wrong.
Go Pack, go.
You know, it could very well be the case.
And it's to win the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
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 Definitely a possibility. They had a pretty good draft also.
Yeah.
I'm seeing William Hill plus 2,000, DraftKings plus 1,500, FanDuel plus 2,400. It's all over the place. But the consensus comes down to plus 1,600. So we're better than that.
Good deal there, Shan.
Right?
Yeah. What'd you say? 1,300? I was looking for that. 1,300, you said?
There was one here. What is the fan? 1,300 is some logo I've never seen before. Sugar House. Or is it Sugar House?
Bet Rivers.
Yeah. That's it. It's the old Sugar House.
Correct.
Yeah. I just saw something on the Action Network, which had a bunch of books listed.
Okay. There you go.
So now I like this Brandon Ingram situation even more and more now. And it's Eytan's. It was Eytan's doing.
All Eytan's doing.
I mean, basically, Kai Carlin said, that Beal and Dillard probably go somewhere else if they go anywhere. But this Ingram thing, you can probably get Ingram plus somebody else.
Yeah.
That really interests me.
I put that in my piece the last time, is that this is a third team involved. This is a lot.
This could be some. I mean, it could be a great situation for Brandon Ingram, number one, being that would you say 2.5, or would you say he's a number 2 or 2.5? Because I don't think he's a 3.
No, he's in between that, right? Like look, Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton are not technically 2s,
right?
But if you put the right combo around, all of a sudden you got something. That's all.
Right. That's exactly what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, that's all.
He can come in and be, because I mean, you would still say that, Embiid would be a great facilitator for him. Just because he'd pull people out of the paint. Give him some wiggle room to do what he needs to do, man. And Harris, Harris can be a number 3 one day. He can be a number 2 one day. It works out perfectly because those two are interchangeable then.
Right, because he doesn't play up to being a 2 every day.
Exactly.
He's inconsistent.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So between him and Ingram together, and that way you could keep your defensive presence with Thibault on the squad. You wouldn't have to give him up.
Amazing.
Man, that would be great. I'll take that in a second.
No question. We'll be right there competing again.
But then, Eytan, you made the great point, too. Like, would New Orleans want to pair a guy like Simmons up against Zion? That's almost like
two of the same guy.
Similar players, right?
Yeah.
One's aggressive on offense. At least Zion will take it to the rack. He doesn't care what happens. But
yes, see what happens. Thanks to everybody popping in today. Awesome job, especially the vets who were reminding the new people. Hit us up with a thumbs up, smash it, subscribe, and like, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any shows. We are back tomorrow. Have a great day.
Are you looking for a place to track your action, purchase picks, and share your sports betting analysis with the gambling community? Check out JAKIB Sports, a social media platform with an unparalleled experience catered for the sports betting community. On the JAKIB Sports app, you can track all your NFL, NBA, and college basketball picks while getting real-time updates and injury reports all in one convenient place. Start building your following today and stand out amongst your friends by downloading the JAKIB Sports app on the Apple and Google Play stores. Let's cash some tickets and put it on Book It.